Hello, guys. So now today we're going to talk about everything you need to know about a company secretary under the Companies and Allied Matters Act. The company secretary under the CAMA 2020 is essentially charged with the duty of ensuring the effective administration of a company and to ensure that the company, is up to date with its regulatory obligations. But let's look at the persons who qualify to be company secretaries under the CAMA 2020. So essentially, a private firm's requirements for a company secretary are very different from those of a public company. So you have to first determine whether it's a private company or a public company. So in a public company, the company secretary must satisfy one of the two requirements listed, which I'm going to list right now, as set out under section 332 of the CAMA 2020, right? Um, and these requirements for company secretaries in a public company are as follows. A company secretary in a public company must be a legal practitioner according to the Legal Practitioners Act. A company secretary in a public company must be a member, right, of the Chartered Secretaries and Administrators Institute of Nigeria, a member of any professional accounting organization created occasionally by a national assembly, any individual who within the 5 years immediately preceding his appointment held the position of secretary of a public firm for at least 3 years, or a corporation or firm whose members each meet the requirements of paragraphs A, B, or C above. Now, it is important I mention that these requirements are disjunctive, right? So they're not conjunctive. So if you're a legal practitioner, according to the legal practitioner, you qualify to be a secretary, a company secretary in a public company. If you are a member of the Chartered Secretaries and Administrators Institute of Nigeria, and you're not a legal practitioner, you are also qualified. If you're a member of any professional accounting organization created occasionally by the National Assembly legislation, you also qualify. And if you are an individual who within the 5 years immediately preceding your appointment as company secretary have held the position of secretary of a public company for at least 3 years, you also qualify. Then if it's a company like a law firm, a corporation, a company, you have companies set up to provide secretarial services, right? So a company like that meet the requirements above also qualifies, right? So a director's responsibility in a private company is to make reasonable efforts to ensure that the secretary is someone that with necessary training and experience to carry out the secretary's duty. So for these requirements, the requirements I just mentioned are requirements for public companies. For private companies, you don't have such requirements. The only requirement is that, the director will just have to ensure that the person, who is to be appointed as a secretary is someone with the necessary training. What necessary training means is subjective, really. Necessary training and experience to carry out the secretary's duty. You can look up section 332 of the CAMA. Also, a company secretary should have technical knowledge of business issues, right? Now, important to also mention that there are some companies that are exempted from having company secretaries. It is not like you can't have, so it's not mandatory. If you are a small company, if a company is a small company under the CAMA 2020, the company is exempted. You can decide to have for administrative purposes, but if you don't have, you're not breaching any law and you're not mandated by law to have. So, companies with a net asset value of 60 million naira and with an annual turnover of 120 million naira are exempted from appointing secretaries. It helps them cut costs because they are referred to as small companies. So this helps them to cut costs. Small companies are exempted from having company secretaries. And like I said, a small company is a company with a net asset value of 60 million naira and annual turnover level of below 120 million naira. A company secretary, just to mention, bears several responsibilities of ensuring the efficient management and administration of the company. They serve as advisors to the directors on regulatory compliance and other compliance matters. Right, though having a company secretary, like I said, in the small company is optional, it is, however, important, or well, it depends on the choice of the directors to have one, right, so that they can assist with regulatory matters and other administrative matters. I believe this discussion has been helpful and informative. If so, please click on the subscribe button, like this video, and make your comments. Thank you.